Good morning. It is 2/22/2025, and I am here in the state of Tennessee. We've been having some very cold temperatures, and we even had some snow this week. Our second snow of the year. Hope it's the last. um, I don't do well in cold weather. Whatever's going on with me up here and in my body, it doesn't like cold weather at all. I have a tendency to just shut down. But I'm sitting here with my wonderful space heater. See if I can show you my wonderful space heater. There it is. It's wonderful. Keeps me nice and warm and toasty. But crazy enough, if I run it with other things in my living area here, it blows the circuit breaker. So um, when I've got my heater on, I can't have much else on. Fortunately, I've got my computer and it seems to run okay. Doesn't cause that kind of problem. I got my dog, Charlie. I think she wants to join us here. And sure enough, well, what she wants is that heater. The only problem is when she gets in front of the heater, it blocks my heat. But I let her come up because I know she's a little dog. And um, I think she gets cold fairly easy, even though she's got a lot of fur right now. She doesn't lose her hair. We have to get it trimmed or groomed or whatever every so often because it just gets out of control. But what I want to talk to you about today about making America moral again, with the idea that if we make America moral again, we will make America as great as it possibly can be. Same with make America healthy again, make America safe again, any and all of those things. But I believe, and this is my belief, I believe that our values and our beliefs have been so eroded, they've been so distorted from what we used to be. Our belief system has just really changed quite a bit, and when we lower our standards, we have problems. And one of the values that I grew up with, um, and have a lot of evidence of, is this idea of being loyal. Loyal, okay? Loyal to yourself. Of course, loyal to God first. I should have said that first, but loyalty to God, loyalty to yourself, loyalty to your family. Notice the order of priority. I say priority to myself, loyalty to myself, because I got to take care of me first. Because if I don't take care of me, I'm not going to be doing any good for anybody else or anything. But anyway, when I was a young person, loyalty was just commonplace. I mean, everywhere I looked, um, and I didn't even know what loyalty was, but I was seeing loyalty. My dog finally, after a few days, figured out that if she turns a certain way, the other side of her body will get the heat. So I'm glad she figured that out. I didn't know how to help her figure that one out. Um, when I was a young kid, and today, um, Memphis Tiger, basketball mainly because way back when we had a football team, but it was so overshadowed by the basketball uh, that football was just a footnote, a side note, you know. But anyway, basketball, woo, loyal. I knew the players, I knew their stats, um, I knew the coach, I knew the substitutions. I mean, I was loyal to the Memphis Tiger basketball team. I was loyal from almost as long as I could remember. I've been loyal to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, I knew the players, the coaches, the stats, I followed them good times, bad times, um, but I remain loyal to them. And to this day, I am still loyal to the Memphis Tigers, and I can include football. And I never was not loyal to their football. It's just we were so bad, and um, our basketball team was so great, and the city just was basketball crazy. And in fact, that's how we got the Grizzlies. And guess what? I'm loyal to the Grizzlies. I know the players. I know the players back then. I know the players now. Well, I don't know the players as well now because we changed so much. This free agency, and I don't want to play for this team anymore. If it were me, I would never, if I was a team owner, I would never trade for or try to sign or whatever they do to players that cry their way out of a city or out of a team. I just wouldn't do it. Um, I'm not going to name names and pick on people, but I think it's obvious. Certainly obvious in football. I don't know half the Steelers now because some of them weren't there last or the year before last, and some of them won't be there this year. So, and the Steelers, I'll have to say, is one of the more loyal franchises to the players. Um, they, I mean, they've faltered some. Don't get me wrong; they're not perfect by any stretch, but they are known for being very steady, very loyal, very faithful uh, to their team, their community. I always hear good things. And now in college, my goodness, they just, you know, the transfer portal is open, and before you know it, you don't know who's on anybody's team anymore. No one cares. They want to go to wherever they can get the most money, the best deal, or where they think they'll get the best exposure, for the NFL draft or the NBA draft or whatever it is. Um, and it's a doggone shame. And so as I watch this erode, and having been in that loyal generation, um, a lot of problems that we have come because people just stop being loyal. Patriotism was pushed out of schools. Prayer was pushed out of schools. Um, you, kids weren't raised to respect um, their country, their flag, their president. I'm I'm extremely loyal to MAGA. I'm extremely loyal to Mama. I'm extremely loyal to Maha and Masa. You know, I'm extremely loyal to Donald Trump. And what amazed me in these Senate confirmation hearings, other than to me, they were a total waste of time. Um, they talk about waste and fraud, and the Senate hearings were just an absolute waste of time. Um, the Democrats whined and complained and insulted and were rude. And frankly, someone should have told them, shut up. Now, I thought the nominees sometimes should have done it, but I understand, why they didn't. But why some of these Republican senators just said, why didn't they just say, this is enough? You're not asking questions. No one's learning anything from these proceedings. But the thing is, the one thing I heard almost every time, every hearing, over and over again, not just by one person, was this idea of, would these nominees have the nerve to be loyal to the President of the United States? Would they follow his directions? Well, I mean, we have senators basically saying that loyalty is a disqualifier, for cabinet members and posts that have to be, confirmed by the Senate. All of a sudden, loyalty is a bad thing, and I'm thinking, well, Trump made some mistakes the first time. He's admitted that. He hired some people that weren't loyal. They turned out to be very disloyal. I guess the Democrats loved them because they were so disloyal. In fact, I think the Democrats kept some of the disloyal ones when they got back in power there. But how ridiculous is that? Of course, they're going to be loyal to the President of the United States. Number one, he's the President of the United States. Number two, he's their boss. Number three, he can hire and fire them just as easy as anyone else. Although now, I mean, gosh, these Democrats, they're challenging everything Trump and the Republicans do in court. I mean, they just run to the courts. Oh, help us, help us, help us. We lost the election. We can't stop them. We have to have you stop them, judges. Some of the judges are being loyal to the Democrats, which should be a bad thing according to the Democrats. How dare they be loyal to the Democrats? And some are being loyal to the law. None of them are being loyal to President Trump. You can see it in their statements, how much they resisted having to do this and probably wish the Democrats would stop all the lawfare. That is what's happening. Lawfare, if people say lawfare is dead, no, it's not. It's going from one district court to another district court to another district court. And I'm beside myself with horror over the Supreme Court. They get one case, one lousy case of this lawfare up to them. And they decide, well, we're going to let it play out first. We're not going to make a decision. Well, Supreme Court, the decisions that are being rendered are unconstitutional, and that's your job. The Supreme Court ought to be able to get up and say, you know what? This is all a bunch of nonsense. He is the chief of the executive branch. He can hire and fire. He can take programs away. It's just ridiculous. So I am really discouraged by the doggone Supreme Court. One case you finally get. What does that mean for the other cases? Are you just going to, you're supposed to judge things by the Constitution. Is this constitutional or not? And it clearly is being shown to us, we the people, Supreme Court. You can't fool us. We can read for ourselves in the Constitution. Supreme Court, stop all this nonsense. You want a constitutional crisis on your hand, keep going, because that's what you're going to have. Because you're not following the Constitution. Now, I don't blame these district court people. They're puppets, most of them. Okay? I don't blame them. They go with the wind. They'll jump on whatever bandwagon. So I throw them aside. But the Supreme Court, your job is to test the constitutionality of anything that comes your way. And anything that comes your way having to do with immigration, having to do with these firings, having to do with whatever's going on. Trump and his staff are showing we the people the proof. Not the nonsense, not the garbage, the truth. And the truth is, what these Democrats are doing is unconstitutional. Why can't you just say that? I agree with you. You don't need to hear any of them. I'm in total agreement with that. But you need to make a statement to these district courts and these Democrats that this nonsense isn't going to be allowed. You cannot go against the constitutionally protected rights and responsibilities of the executive branch. And these district courts, they're trying to tie his hands. He said, they're not going to stop us, but they are slowing us down. And I don't want them to slow down. I want them to keep right on moving. I want every illegal immigrant out of this country. And if they have a child that supposedly now, because of the lie that they're telling about the 14th Amendment, again, Supreme Court, read the 14th Amendment. You're supposed to be constitutional people. These immigrants, they're illegal. They're not under the authority of the United States. Because if they are, the United States says, get out. And they're not. So they're not under our authority. Because if they were under our authority, our border people would have to get out the way so they could get back to Mexico. So I would simply say, great. If you want to play that game, you don't want your family to be split apart. Take your family with you when you go. Okay, I agree. If your family, boy, they're important to you. You love your family. You're loyal to them. I commend you. I applaud. That's great. I mean, those are good values to have. But you're illegal. You don't have any rights here. None. Absolutely none. And you shouldn't. So if you want to take your children, go ahead. So loyalty. If we had more loyalty in this country, we would have a much better country. We may not even have to make it great again if we could just make it moral again. You know, if people would just start doing the right things by the Constitution, if people would follow whatever religion you have, I follow the Bible. It's my guidebook. Okay, and it tells me what's right and what's wrong. What should I do? What shouldn't I do? Um, Muslims have, you know, the Quran. Um, every religion has some kind of a guideline, guidebook, and if they match up um, to American ideals and morals and beliefs and principles, then I say, please join. Make America moral again. We want you. Okay, you don't have to be biblically based. If you are, wonderful. I understand uh, where you're coming from much better than the Muslims, but I still want to hear from the Muslims that have those good morals, that believe those things that our Constitution states. So I appreciate being able to be here on YouTube and make my videos. I don't know how much longer I'm going to do it. As long as God puts it on my heart to do it, I'll continue to do it. But to be honest with you, my my, my fire needs stoking, and yeah, I guess I'm a vain person, you know, uh, but my feelings are getting pretty badly hurt. Um, and I'm just being honest, you know. And I'm not calling anybody out or anything, but pretty much nobody is commenting. I do have some people on Truth Social, and I thank you, Truth Social. You are um, sharing, and some are doing some talking. The whole point of any of this is to start a conversation. I'd say probably 80% of the time when Trump blurts out whatever he blurts out, what he's really saying is we need to talk. We need a conversation. I'll say something way out there in left field just to get you to wake up, you know, and respond. Uh, he, he doesn't mind people talking. He wants them to talk. That's what he said. How can we stop the Russia Ukraine war if nobody will talk to Russia? If you don't talk to the sides that are involved, it's going to be pretty hard um, unless there's a total defeat. Uh, and honestly, I think Russia could totally defeat Ukraine if they wanted to, but I think they're holding back, hoping for peace. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I know Ukraine has been caught doing some mighty dirty dealing. I mean, mighty dirty dealing. Uh, any Americans that support Zelensky at this point, I, I question your loyalty to the United States because we have been treated like a doormat by Ukraine, by Zelensky. Now, maybe not the people. I don't know the people, but I do know what I see and what I hear and what I read about Zelensky. And some of it's coming straight from his own mouth. So I know it's, you know, true. And, you know, he hasn't thanked us. Um, he just keeps coming back with his hand out saying, I need more money. I need more money. You've got to finance this money in war. Didn't want to pay us back. Trump handled that. If you get out of Trump's way, he'll handle a lot more. He's a winner. So I'm going to say it again, how much I would really appreciate it if not just liking this video, commenting. What do you think? What do you use as a guide for your right and wrongs in life? How have we as a country strayed from those values and beliefs that you've grown up with or that you believe? So commenting and then sharing. Again, Truth Social. Truth Social. I wish Truth Social people would get on my YouTube channel and start working some of that YouTube channel and subscribing to my channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It causes you to push a button. Okay, you got to hit the subscribe button. You got to hit the like button. You got to go down and you got to comment and share. So I've kept you long enough, and I pray you have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great weekend. It's nice and sunny here in Memphis, and so I'm enjoying the sun looking out my window because it's cold here in Memphis. So have a great day. If you use the Bible as your guide, please tell me. If you use the Quran as your guide, please tell me. If you use, I don't know, I have pretty much been biblically based since I began to pay attention to the spiritual things. I'd like to learn more, about other beliefs and religions. And even non-religious people are moral. There's a bunch of non-religious people who are moral, and they're guided by something. They choose right over wrong more times than not. So tell me, what do you use? Is it the Constitution? Is it just the way you were raised? Are you into nature? If you have the beliefs that made this country what it is today, or what it was, okay, what we were based in, if you have those beliefs, I want to hear from you. So please consider getting on YouTube and getting the ball rolling there, because YouTube opens us up to a whole bunch more. I do place my videos on X, but I never, nothing. I mean, nothing. I don't pay. I don't pay. Maybe that's it. I don't pay. Okay. Hope y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.